This episode of Rebuilding Rosters was brought to you by yours truly. In today's episode, we will be examining the 100 Thieves organization. In the Rebuilding Rosters series, we will be examining team profile, diagnosing problem areas, scouting for solutions, and providing suggestions as to how these teams can reach their goals for 2021. The 100 Thieves is a League of Legends organization in the NALCS. New to the franchising era, they have been one of the most successful teams, finishing second in the spring split of 2018, third place in the summer split of 2018, and most recently finishing third place in the spring split of Season 10. However, their performance has varied wildly. With a 10th place finish in the spring split of 2019, an 8th place finish in the summer split of 2019, and an 8th place finish in the most recent summer split of 2020. This variance comes along with 16 different players having represented the organization across these 3 years, of which the only consistent factor is Someday in the top lane, best known for his Maokai play during his time in Korea, having played over 40 games with this champion with a 71% win rate and a KDA of 4.3. Helming the ship in Season 8 and 9 was Prolly with a 41% win rate, and despite changes in Season 10, the win rate continues to stay the same, bringing in GM Papa Smithy as well as Head Coach 6. Currently, the organization has 15 players under contract. This is due to the 100 Thieves Next initiative that was introduced by Papa Smithy. To quote him on the 100 Next program, North America has struggled, especially over the past few years, to produce the level of talent that I'm sure fans are hoping to see. Currently, the main roster consists of Someday, Contracts, Ryoma, Cody-san, and Poom, of which Contracts and Poom was promoted within this year up from Academy. In the Academy roster features Fake God, Canvy, Soligo, Prismo, and Breezy. It is important to note that Fake God, Soligo, and Prismo's contracts ran out at the end of this year. Canvy also was recently promoted up to the Academy team via the 100 Thieves Next program. Tenacity joins Canvy in another promotion up from the 100 Next program, while NXI, Copy, Yuan, and Otto are all signed under the 100 Thieves organization. However, the contract information is not publicly known information as they have yet to participate in the Academy. The goals for the 100 Thieves in 2021 will be to promote talent through the Academy, bolster tactical synergy, and make top 3 in both splits. The 100 Thieves can be described as a jungle-centric team. They play an early game full hot press style of gameplay. They like to draft champions that are able to get lane priority, such as Renekton, Azir, as well as Ashe, and able for pushing lanes to facilitate farming junglers that can invade and counter jungle their opponents. This would then re-enable these junglers to play for the various win conditions, be it Renekton being paired with Nidalee on the top side of the map, or a Graves to pair together with an Ashe to control the bottom side, to choke out opponents and to secure multiple dragons. The way that they play can be most similar to LGD Gaming in the LPL. The pros of playing such a playstyle would be that it enables an early objective control for a possible 4-dragon win condition. However, going for such a playstyle enables a weaker team fighting and puts the team on a scaling timer. Thus, teams choosing to go for such a playstyle have to be effective at snowballing their leads and be disciplined in holding on to them. Most people will point fingers at the current mid lane and the carry of the team, regularly being behind their opponent counterparts more often than not, and having negative goal differences at 15, despite going for such an early game playstyle. The suggested upgrade for these two players would be the easiest thing to do. However, if we were to compare the statistics of these players, as well as the 2.6 dragons per game of the 100 Thieves, these players actually match statistically to their counterparts on LGD Gaming. Thus, we will need to take a more qualitative eye test analysis of how 100 Thieves plays to figure out what are the current problems. In the series against Evil Geniuses, a few things were clear. The 100 Thieves bot lane stumbled in the 2v2 skill check matchups. The team was unable to close off an Ocean Soul in game number 2, and the mid laner looked outclassed throughout the entire series. One thing is for sure is that the caliber of players on 100 Thieves are unable to fulfill this full court press style of gameplay that 100 Thieves has wanted to play. Perhaps a full rebuild is in order, and what the organization does for 2021 would be too much speculation for this series to tackle in sufficient depth. However, 100 Thieves, they do have a 15-man roster, and we can suggest some internal structures for better talent development, which should then allow for them to utilize the large roster for greater tactical flexibility. This suggestion would see them shift coaching from a team-based focus to a role-based focus. Currently, in the 100 Thieves, they have a coach in charge of each roster, and that coach is responsible for the roster's performance. This would see a shift where you will have a head coach in charge of the overall flow, tactics, and decisions for the playstyle that will be consistent throughout all three teams, and we would have positional coaches then be in charge of enabling and facilitating players to be able to fit such a playstyle. This would need them to add a third person to fulfill perhaps a third coach, as they would need one for the top lane position, one for the likes of mid jungle, and one for the bot lane. Already such manpower exists on the organization, and a simple restructuring will be able to fulfill it. Such a shift will enable effective vertical information transfer, allowing for players to collaborate with each other more effectively. It will enable for tactical consistency across all three teams, and this will allow for parts to move more freely as terminologies, as well as expectations as to what's happening in the game, will be consistent throughout what 100 Thieves are playing. And more importantly as well, this will enable a better basis for individual player assessment, which will allow the organization to make better calls as to when they should promote players out from academy or move players back down, perhaps into the next program as and when necessary, as now as a single person evaluating the performance of the players in the specific roles. If you enjoyed this content, please do give this video a like and click subscribe to my channel. And that will wrap it up for rebuilding rosters video on the 100 Thieves.